Princess Marcella will wed their youngest son when she comes of age. I plan to marry Princess Marcella off to Theon Greyjoy.
Tell no one what?
I plan to wed Princess Marcella to Robin Arryn of the Vale.
You cannot trust your generals. You cannot trust your servants. And somewhere in your inner circle, one of your 3 closest advisors is selling your secrets to your enemy. You cannot arrest them all. You cannot torture a confession out of them. The moment you show your hand, you lose everything. So what do?
I've encountered this problem before, my lord. The stresses of power often have this insalubrious effect. 2 drops with water daily.
You lie carefully, specifically, differently to each of them, and then you wait. This is the Canary Trap, one of the oldest counterintelligence techniques in history. Real intelligence agencies have used versions of it for centuries. Feed different information to different suspects, then watch which version surfaces in the wrong place. The principle is simple. The execution, when done well, is a masterpiece, and in a single afternoon in Season 2, Tyrion Lannister executes it against 3 of the sharpest minds in Westeros simultaneously: Grand Maester Pycelle, Lord Varys, Peter Baelish. 1 mole, 3 lies, 1 bait. Let's break down exactly how he does it, and why it works.
Plan to marry Princess Marcella off to Theon Greyjoy.
Tyrion has just arrived in King's Landing as Hand of the King. He is alone, politically isolated, and surrounded by his sister's spies.
Do you want to see her raped, butchered like the Targaryen children? Make no mistake. They'll mount her pretty little head on a spike right beside yours.
Cersei knows everything that happens in the small council before the ink is dry. Tyrion cannot govern if he cannot speak freely, and he cannot speak freely until he knows who is listening. His 3 suspects could not be more different.
I can trust you, Pycelle, can I not?
Why, yes, of course, my lord.
Pycelle, the establishment loyalist, decades of institutional power built entirely on attaching himself to whoever sits the throne and making himself indispensable to them.
The Queen mustn't know. I love conversations that begin this way.
Varys, the Spider, the most sophisticated intelligence operator in Westeros, playing a longer game than anyone else in the room, a game most of them don't even know is being played.
She imprisoned you. She tried to execute you. And you offer her son a princess.
Littlefinger, the merchant of chaos. Everything he does is transactional. Every alliance has a price. Every secret has a buyer. Tyrion's genius lies in recognizing that these men don't just have different personalities, they have entirely different psychological architectures. A canary trap only works if each lie is tailored to its specific listener. The same lie told to all 3 would be too obviously a trap. 3 different lies, each calibrated to a different mind, each exploiting a different weakness. That is the trap.
So loyal that you told the Queen about my plans to send Marcella to Dorne.
What makes this scene remarkable is not just the tactic, but the man deploying it. Tyrion is brilliant, and he is also ruthless. He uses a child as political bait, manipulates colleagues he works alongside daily, and does all of it with quiet efficiency. He has accepted that survival in King's Landing requires treating every person in the room as a piece on the board. That acceptance is what separates him from men like Ned Stark, who refused to make the same compromise and paid for it with their lives. Tyrion looked at what happened to Ned and drew a very different conclusion than most. Not that the game was wrong, but that Ned had played it badly. Suspect 1,
I'm so grateful
Pycelle.
to have a man of your vast knowledge and wisdom on my side. Please.
Tyrion opens by talking about his bowel movements, completely deliberate. He lowers the status of the room, makes himself seem small and unthreatening, and manufactures a false sense of intimacy.
Marcella, sent away to Dorne.
Pycelle, who has spent his entire career performing deference to power, immediately falls into his comfort zone, the learned man helping the struggling lord.
Thank the gods. I haven't had a proper shit in 6 days.
He hands over medicine. He feels useful and superior simultaneously. Tyrion feeds him flattery by the spoonful, and Pycelle's guard drops entirely.
I can trust you, Pycelle, can I not?
Why, yes, of course, my lord.
Then comes the setup. I can trust you, can I not? This forces a verbal commitment. Pycelle says yes, which makes what follows all the more damning. He has now staked his word on loyalty in the same breath as he is preparing to betray it.
I'm trusting the council with these plans, but the Queen mustn't know. Can't have her meddling in affairs that could determine the future of the realm. There's too much at stake.
The lie, I am brokering an alliance with House Martell of Dorne. Princess Myrcella will wed their youngest son. Why Dorne? Because it fits the shape of Pycelle's mind exactly. He is not a lateral thinker. He is not a risk-taker. A sensible political marriage to a great house, that is the world he understands. The kind of move that has been made in Westeros for centuries.
Princess Myrcella will wed their youngest son when she comes of age, ensuring their loyalty and their army should we need it.
Tyrion doesn't just tell him a lie, he tells him the specific lie his imagination will accept without friction. Then, the trigger. The Queen mustn't know. Pycelle's entire function is telling Cersei things she isn't supposed to know. Tyrion has gift-wrapped the secret and placed it directly in his hands.
Myrcella sent away to Dawn.
Pycelle agrees to silence with such enthusiasm that he is already composing the letter to Cersei before he leaves the room. He cannot help himself. He was always going to do this. Tyrion simply made it easy. The trap is set. Suspect 2, Varys.
But remember, the Queen mustn't know.
Ooh, the Queen mustn't know.
The same opener. The Queen mustn't know. Varys doesn't perform shock. He is amused. He recognizes immediately that a game is being played, which is precisely the problem Tyrion has to solve. Pycelle can be fooled with flattery. Varys cannot be fooled at all. He can only be engaged.
I plan to marry Princess Myrcella off to Theon Greyjoy.
So Tyrion gives him an entirely different lie. I plan to marry Princess Myrcella to Theon Greyjoy, ward of the Starks. The Ironborn are an open rebellion. On the surface, it makes no sense, and that is exactly why it works on Varys. A conventional lie would trigger his suspicion immediately. An unconventional one engages his intellect, giving him something genuinely complex to turn over.
Theon's father loathes the Starks and will convince the boy to come to our side.
Varys pushes back. Tyrion counters with a near-plausible strategic argument, and Varys files the information away rather than running to Cersei. He waits, he watches, and this patience is not passivity. It is the clearest expression of how Varys understands power. Every other player in King's Landing treats information as currency to be spent immediately. Pycelle runs to Cersei because he needs to feel useful. Littlefinger trades secrets because every transaction is a step toward the next advantage. Varys does neither because he grasps something the others don't. Information spent too early loses its value.
Greyjoy can destroy the Northern Army from within, and we can have his father's ships.
A capable hand of the king, observed carefully over time, is worth more than any single secret he might carry. Varys is not playing to win today's hand. He is playing to still be at the table when everyone else has been eliminated. Holding Tyrion's secret and watching how the trap develops tells him far more about how this new hand thinks, calculates, and manages people than reporting it to Cersei ever could.
He has a sword, the power of life and death.
But if it's swordsmen who rule, why do we pretend kings hold all the power?
When they finally meet after the trap has closed, Varys doesn't mention it at all. He offers a riddle instead. Power resides where men believe it resides. It is not a lesson, it is a signal. A quiet acknowledgement that he saw exactly what Tyrion did, understood why it worked, and has filed it away for future use. Of the 3 men tested that afternoon, Varys is the only one who grasped the full architecture of the trap, and the only one who passed it. Suspect 3, Littlefinger.
But remember, you must tell no one.
Tell no one what?
Littlefinger cuts to the point, pressing for answers before Tyrion has even begun. What? He speaks the language of transaction, so Tyrion meets him there without ceremony.
I plan to wed Princess Myrcella to Robin Arryn of the Vale.
The lie. I plan to wed Myrcella to Robin Aelin of the Vale. The Vale is the one region Littlefinger personally covets, the territory where his obsessions live and his ambitions have always pointed.
And I suppose you want me to broker this agreement?
Who better?
Tyrion doesn't just tell him a lie, He tells him the specific lie his imagination will accept without friction.
What's in it for me?
The gratitude of the people of Westeros for helping to end this war. The adoration of the king for bringing the Vale back into the fold. And Harrenhal.
Then the trigger, Harrenhal, the largest castle in the realm, a lordship that would transform Littlefinger from a clever servant of greater men into a great lord in his own right, the thing he has wanted since he was a minor-born boy with no land and outsized ambitions.
Harrenhal is cursed.
Tyrion names his price directly, and without sentimentality. Littlefinger feigns hesitation. Harrenhal is cursed, which is pure negotiating theater.
I took you for a superstitious man. By all means, tear it down and rebuild. You'll be able to afford it. Plan to make you Lord of the Riverlands.
Tyrion calls the bluff and sweetens the deal. Lord of the Riverlands. The hook is set.
It's settled then. Good. Oh, and remember,
The Queen mustn't know.
Littlefinger accepts and keeps the secrets not out of loyalty, but because the reward is too large to jeopardize by talking out of turn. His silence is purchased, not earned. The reveal.
I will not let you ship her off to Dorne as I was shipped off to Robert Baratheon.
Cersei confronts Tyrion. She demands he call off the betrothal to Dorne. In one sentence, she hands him everything he needs. Only Pycelle knew about Dorne. The trap has closed. The mole is confirmed. What Tyrion does next is the most revealing moment in the entire sequence.
just how safe do you think Marcella is if this city falls? Do you want to see her raped, butchered like the Targaryen children? Make no mistake. They'll mount her pretty little head on a spike right beside yours.
Get out! Get out!
He doesn't gloat. He pivots immediately to a moral defense. The marriage was for Marcella's safety, to remove her from the capital before the war arrives. He wins the intelligence battle and the ethical arguments simultaneously. But why does he need the moral justification at all? The trap worked. The spy is identified. He could simply take the victory. The fact that he reaches for righteousness tells us something important. Tyrion has spent his entire life being told he is lesser by his father, by his sister, by a city that looks at his stature and sees weakness. He doesn't just want to win, he needs to believe he is winning for the right reasons. Whether that's genuine conscience wrestling with the cost of his methods, or a carefully maintained self-image that makes the ruthlessness bearable, perhaps even Tyrion himself couldn't say. He is not a hero who sometimes does dark things. He is something more unsettling. A good man who has become very good at the dark things. The aftermath.
I am your loyal servant.
So loyal that you told the Queen about my plans to send Marcella to Dorne.
No, never.
Cut off his manhood and feed it to the goats.
No.
I don't like his beard.
What? Wait. Oh, no.
Pycelle is removed swiftly, beard shaved, dignity stripped, thrown in a black cell. Cersei's eyes within the small council are gone.
I don't appreciate being made a fool of, dwarf.
Littlefinger is a far more delicate problem. He was not caught, he was used, and to a man like Baelish, being played as a laboratory rat is not an embarrassment, it is a provocation.
If Marcella marries the Martell boy, she can't very well marry Robin Arryn, can she?
No. Afraid not. Sorry about that.
And Harrenhal.
Littlefinger has built his entire identity around being the smartest operator in any room he enters. Discovering that Tyrion ran a controlled experiment on him, that he was the subject rather than the observer, strikes at something much